Hiya, friends. Prepared Suburbanite back with you. Hey, I've heard this phrase said before, and there's a long story behind that one. But maybe the Democrats are content in their own misery. I stumbled on a Media Research Center survey of, I think, 1,100 Democrats that were polled about Kamala Harris's positions on relevant issues that we all need to be aware of. So I am absolutely convinced that the Democrat voters are simply content in their own misery. Stick around, I'm going to get into some detail. Okay, so here goes with the first question in the survey. Now, these are 1,200 registered Democrats and independent Biden voters. So they've already culled it down. They didn't include any Republicans in this survey at all. So this truly represents what the Democrats and independents are thinking right now. So here's question number one. Harris would consider allowing death row inmates to vote. The percentage that were aware of that posture or position was 14%, and 86% were unaware of that position. Harris supported the elimination of private health insurance. 19% were aware, and 81% were not aware. Harris promoted a fund to bail out violent protesters during the 2020 riots. 22% said they were aware, and 78% said they were unaware. Harris supported abolishing ICE. 23% said yes, they were aware, and 77% said they were not aware. Harris was named the most liberal U.S. Senator in 2019. 25% said they knew that, and 75% said no, they were unaware of that fact. Harris said it should not be considered a crime to enter the U.S. illegally. 26% said they were aware of that position, and 74% said they were not aware of that position. Harris co-sponsored the Green New Deal. 27% said yes, they knew that, and 73% said no, they were unaware of that. Harris never visited a conflict zone on the border as border czar. 28% said they were aware of that, and 72% said no, they were not aware of that. Harris supported cutting funding for the police. 29%, so it's getting better, 71% said no, they were not aware that she supported cutting funding for the police. Harris supported reparations and payments to atone for U.S. slavery in the U.S. 29% said they were aware of that, and 71% said no, they were not aware of that position that Kamala has taken. So when I say they're content in their own misery, one of the questions that doesn't seem to be really on that list is Harris's position on inflation, but that seems to be the biggest issue that we all face on a day-to-day basis. Every trip to the grocery store, to the gas station, to pay your utility bills, That's been a real struggle for an awful lot of us. And I'm living on a fixed income. I'm retired, have been for 10 years, and it's been tough. We've had to tighten our belts in a couple of other areas so that we can afford to live the life that we enjoy living. And I believe that the Democrats that are supporting Kamala Harris right now are absolutely content in their own misery. They have no idea what's going on. They get their news from places like MSNBC and NBC News, ABC, CBS, and even The View, which some folks on the left consider a source of reliable news. If that's where they're getting their news, they are truly content in their own misery. To take it just a couple of steps further, and I'll relay a little bit of that story. When we first moved to North Carolina, we stopped at a restaurant. It was a chain restaurant at the time, and got a table there, and we were talking to the waiter. And he said, "So, are you folks from around here?" No, no, we're from New Hampshire. Well, actually, we're originally from upstate New York. And he said, "Oh, whereabouts?" And we said, "Elmira." And he said, "Oh, I know Elmira. That's a little bit west of Binghamton, right?" He said, "Yep, that's right." He said, "You know, those folks up there are content in their own misery." And when that waiter said that, it really struck home, because that's one of the reasons that I left living in New York State, was that I realized that most of the folks that were there, lived there, were content in their own misery. Things were not going well for them. The economic impact of the Rust Belt evacuations were really hitting home. High unemployment, factories closing left and right, being outsourced to China and all that. And folks were just kind of going along with it, living day to day, and just, content in their own misery. And I do believe that the Democrat Party, the Democrat voters right now, that are getting their news from mainstream media, which I consider ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, and The View, they are definitely living in a reality that we do not understand. I know the effects that this economy has had on me, the effects that the increased amount of regulations and things that we cannot do, like have gas appliances and have air conditioning in our home, all those kinds of things, hot water heaters, you name it. They're telling us that you have to drive an electric vehicle from now on, because the internal combustion engine will cause climate change, and boy, that's going to be the end all cure all for our American society. And one additional thing that I wanted to bring up to help illustrate the point that the Democrat voters are living in a vacuum. Here's a fact check from PolitiFact. It says, Vance says Waltz left the National Guard after being called to Iraq. Well, Republican vice presidential nominee and Ohio Senator J.D. Vance sought to negatively frame the 24-year military career of newly minted Democrat vice presidential candidate Tim Walz, the Minnesota's current governor. And he said that he left the National Guard after being called to Iraq. And the ruling on this whole thing was it's mostly false. Vance said when Tim Walz was asked by his country to go to Iraq, do you know what he did? He dropped out of the Army and allowed his unit to go without him. Vance's statement ignores the fact that Walz's unit was not officially ordered to go to Iraq until July 2005, 2 months after Walz officially retired. What they failed to say in that PolitiFact, if it's fact, was he already knew that his unit was going to be called, and he knew it well in advance, and he decided to take the easy way out and decided, no, I ain't going, and tried to cover it all up. But PolitiFact has come out and said that what J.D. Vance said is mostly false. And guess who believes that? It's the folks that watch PolitiFact, ABC, NBC, CBS News, and The View. So if you think they live in a vacuum, you're absolutely right. We've got a job as conservatives, we've got a job as patriots to bring this stuff to light. And I hope that this few-minute video here provides you with a little bit of ammunition to share with your liberal lefty friends and folks that are unaware of really what's going on in the world today. And we need to make sure that they know and that they understand, so that there's not 86% of them that are totally unaware of what is really going on in the political environment today. I hope that you all take this to heart, and if you found anything in this video that you found enlightening or helpful, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. Share this where you can. And remember this, I'm the Prepared Suburbanite, reminding you to be prepared always, because we're going to need to be prepared if we lose this November's election. I'll see you all on the next video.